The following is a Sportsnet presentation in association with the Toronto Blue Jays.
The Blue Jays, they will head home with a 10-14 record.
They seem to be moving forward in a positive direction, and let's hope they can do that on that homestand.
Long gone now, babe, I can't go on. I know you cannot as well. Now it's time to draw the line out at the borderline. If you know what I mean, I got to keep out of the storm.
It is gone.
I got to hide it, keep it warm. I got to keep out of the storm.
Big inning for the Blue Jays.
I got to find another home. I got to keep out of the storm.
Blue Jays win. Blue Jays win. He struck him out. This is an electric arm. And the Blue Jays win it.
This 2026 is going to be a fun one.
The Sheepdogs Tour has them in Calgary tonight, while the Blue Jays' schedule brings them back to Toronto for a weekend series against the first-place Cleveland Guardians. Tonight it's Max Scherzer for the home side, Gavin Williams for the visitor. So our Friday focus sends us up to the broadcast booth. Dan Schulman is with Caleb Joseph.
Jamie, thank you so much. The Blue Jays are back home after a long road trip that saw them go 4-5. And Caleb, a little news today. Ross Atkins and John Schneider both meeting with the media before the game, saying as of now, it's kind of bullpen by committee at the back end.
It's been a weird season for Jeff Hoffman. He's had a ton of success in terms of striking out hitters, but the results really have not been there, Dan. 10 2/3 innings pitched. He's given up 16 hits, and he just isn't getting it done. 3 of 6 save opportunities completed. So where do they go from here? I think there's a possibility you could go with Tyler Rogers. Is it unlikely? I think so, because he's better suited for those hold positions. Could you maybe see Mason Fluharty if there's some lefties in the lineup and John Schneider wants to match up? Yeah, it's possible, but that is my guy right there. Louis Varland looks the part, he acts the part, and he is dominating like a closer right now. 13 innings pitched, 19 Ks, only 3 walks. He is my guy in the 9th inning if the Blue Jays want to get it done late in the game. What does Jeff Hoffman need to do? He's got to go down, relax. He's got to get ahead of batters. He's got to better sequence his stuff. He's got to see success for the Blue Jays to be successful. If he does that, he might be able to slide into that closer role again. But for now, it's closer by committee.
And he still will be counted upon, obviously, to get big outs, even if they are a little bit earlier in the game. Got a couple of milestones here tonight. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. is playing in his 1,000th Major League game. How did that happen so fast? And Max Scherzer is 1 strikeout away from becoming the 11th pitcher ever with 3,500. Jamie?
Gentlemen, thank you. A night of milestones indeed. That's the Friday Focus presented by McCain. Together is golden. There he is, Max Scherzer, always intense, ready to go against the Guardians. He'll throw the first pitch on Sportsnet 1 after this.
Rogers Friday Night Blue Jays baseball, presented by McCain. Max Scherzer is on the mound already, and as you can see, Caleb, he's got his game face on and is ready to go, about to make his 5th start of the season and again 1 strikeout away from pretty rare air. It will be number 3,500 for him. Only 10 others have ever done that. He will face a Guardians lineup that's kind of pesky. They don't strike out all that much, and they've got one of the greats in the game. Jose Ramirez just keeps doing it year after year after year. The Guardians right now 14-12 on the season, tied for the top spot of the Central with the Tigers. These two teams split 6 games a season ago, And Max Scherzer in his best City Connect uniform here, looking for a big outing tonight.
Yeah, the wily veteran making his 5th start of the season. Last time out versus Arizona. Looked like him old self. 6 innings pitched, only 2 runs on 5 hits. He was really good with his location. That's what was really surprising to me, was how he dotted that fastball, got his breaking pitches to the edges. He's going to need that against this Guardians team because they are high contact. Induce weak contact early and see how efficient you could be in the game.
Daniel Schneemann is the leadoff hitter for the Guardians tonight. No Stephen Kwan in the lineup tonight for the Guardians. As many teams do, they give their outfielders a day off from the turf. So Kwan could come in later, but is not in the starting lineup. I don't think anybody on the Blue Jays side of the field is unhappy about that. As you look at Stephen Vogt, the manager for the Guardians. So Schneemann in the leadoff spot. And this ball game is underway with a fastball in for a strike. Schneemann at second base, a former 33rd round pick who was off to a very nice start, as you can see from the numbers. Scherzer out in front, 0-2. The 0-2 from Scherzer. Fouled back by Schneemann. Schneemann had a 2-home run, 5 RBI game in this ballpark last year, a game the Guardians won 5-3. An interested John Schneider looking on as Scherzer begins his night. Try to change up, taken low.
Looks like Max got really good stuff today. Good fastball at the top of the zone. Good action on that changeup so far.
And headed out of play right side. Elevated fastball there from Scherzer. Right back at him with another 1-2 pitch, and it misses outside. Boy, it is noisy in here tonight right now, isn't it? The count 2-2. Down and in, and he checked the swing. It's full. So he's shown him the 4-seamer. He's shown him a couple of changeups. That was a cutter. Was out in front 0-2. Now it's 3-2. And it is hit to right field and deep and gone. Schneemann battles back into the count and takes Scherzer out, and it's 1-0 Guardians.
Well, we just talked about Scherzer being on the edges, and so far throughout that entire bat, he was on the edges. He was missing in the correct spots. But that 3-2 pitch, it's a fastball, and it's just right down the middle. And a lot of times you're trying to get that over. You don't want to walk the leadoff hitter, and look at the location. It is just dead center. And that's been the kryptonite for Scherzer, is locate, 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 then give up a mistake, and it gets punished.
So the Guardians up early, and now Chase DeLauder is the batter, their young right fielder, who made his major league debut last year in the playoffs. He played in the postseason before he ever played in the regular season. Then got off to a great start this year in the regular season, hit 5 home runs in his first 7 games, but now he's gone cold, just 4 for his last 31. One and 2. You see DeLauder asking home plate umpire Paul Clemens if that would have been a called strike. So again, Scherzer out in front of a Cleveland hitter. And a bouncer hit to second. Waiting is Clement on to first in time.
Yep, behind Max Scherzer, the defense for the Blue Jays tonight. Round out from left to right in the outfield, Sanchez, Varsho, and Lucas. You might see Sanchez and Lucas kind of flipping back and forth. We'll talk about that as the broadcast moves on. But rounding out the defense, it's Okamoto at third, Jimenez at short, Clement and Guerrero Jr. on the right side. Tyler Heineman calling the pitches for Scherzer in tonight's ball game.
Now Jose Ramirez. He got off to a slow start this year, but he has been hot over the last 15 games or so. And you know what the numbers will be at the end of the year. Just one of the very best players in the game season after season. 2 for 11 in his career against Max Scherzer. Outside, 3-0.
Just a model of consistency, complete player, Dan. He runs, he fields, he hits for average, he hits for power, and he does it without a ton of protection year in, year out. I think that's what's most impressive about it.
He is 33 years old, and he is leading the major leagues in stolen bases right now. He's 11 for 11. Plays hard, too.
Oh, yes, all out.
Sent foul, full count. So Scherzer, again, 1 strikeout away from 3,500, has gotten to a 2-strike count on every hitter. Trey Savage with the team tonight. Hoping to be back shortly. In the dugout with Patrick Corbin, Eric Lauer. 3-2 pitch. Taken low, and it's a walk for Ramirez. The Walker taking some notes in the dugout. Scherzer up to 18 pitches already. The Guardians will make you work. They'll put it in play. As you said, they don't strike out a lot. Here's the cleanup hitter, the first baseman, Kyle Manzardo. And we'll see if Ramirez tries to test the Scherzer-Heineman combo early.
Yeah, Heineman only 2 for 12. Catching runners. He does have a quick exchange, has made quite a few good throws. A lot of that has to do with kind of the guys he's catching not being given a chance.
In there, 1-1 on Manzardo. Second round pick by the Rays back in 2021. Came over to Cleveland in a deal in 2023. Hit 27 homers last year. Ramirez leaning a little bit, not going, and it's down low. 2-1 on Manzardo. Heineman asked for the appeal. He didn't go. Now it's 3-1.
Yeah, one of those pitches that if you get it to the spot, you're probably going to get Manzardo to release on it, get weak contact. But what I do like about it, it's missed on the correct spot. And that's, I think, what is kind of evolving throughout Max's years, missing on the right spot.
3-2 as he gets the call. So now Scherzer's gotten to 2 strikes on all 4 hitters. Can he put Manzardo away? Pretty decent chance they're running Ramirez here.
I would say. I'd let him go.
Scherzer sets. Ramirez not going. And a fastball in on his hands is fouled back by Manzardo. Boy, you hate to see the pitch count climbing this much this early.
And he was so efficient in Arizona. In innings like this, they take a lot out of you as a starting pitcher. You just feel totally gassed and tanked by the end of it.
Popped up, shallow left. Okamoto is calling for it, and the third baseman way out in left field to make the catch for the second out.
Yeah, Max executes a really good down middle pitch to get Manzardo kind of out in front. Love how Okamoto went after that. You could see his hand waving the entire time. I got it, I got it, I got it. Love how he took charge right there.
So 2 down, and now here is veteran Rhys Hoskins. Was with Milwaukee the last couple of years, some big years before that with Philadelphia. A long hold here by Scherzer. Hoskins has not enjoyed much success at all head-to-head with Max Scherzer, to the tune of 2 for 30 with 15 strikeouts. And Ramirez draws a throw.
That might go in the category of not seeing him very well.
And neither guy may know the numbers, but they both have a pretty good idea of what's going on.
Yeah, they might not know the exact numbers, but and I've been there. There's just certain guys, Dan, that you don't see well, and you know that it's not good, but 15 strikeouts and 30 at bats, that's aggressive.
A bit of a bigger lead now for Ramirez. Not going, and it's fouled back 1-1. That's two pretty talented ball players over there at first base, in Guerrero and Ramirez. 1-1. Called strike 2. Scherzer nods in agreement with Heineman. And the 1-2 pitch. Sharply hit and past a diving Jimenez into left center. Cut off by Varsho. Ramirez around to third on a long single by Hoskins.
Yeah, it looks like he's trying to go up and away. You see the target from Heineman on the outside part of the plate, but you see that ball's just middle thigh high across. That's right where Hoskins' bat path is, just out of the reach of Jimenez, and it just makes you wonder if this looming strikeout is kind of wearing on Scherzer just a little bit. He's getting to the tough parts in terms of getting to 2 strikes, but just unable to finish. And a lot of times when you want it really bad, you will back some stuff up.
You like this visit by Heineman?
I do. I love it. He's at 30 pitches, almost 29. This is an older guy. This is what you have to do to really slow it down. Trust me, Scherzer feels like he's in the 4th inning right now at about 100 pitches. This thing is really ramped up really quickly. You knew he had a ton of energy coming into this game, and it feels like the tank is empty. And so to have a visit like that is a really good time to reset, give him an extra minute to catch his breath and execute right here.
And a pitch clock violation on Scherzer. So Paul Clemens has put a ball on the count. It is 1-0, and John Schneider is out to talk to the home plate umpire to get an explanation. Scherzer, meanwhile, is going to talk to the second base ump, Ramon De Jesus. So whatever Schneider was told, he seems okay with. No heated argument or anything like that. Probably wants to get back in there and just let Scherzer get back in a rhythm. 1-0 in there, 1-1. George Valera, a 25-year-old outfielder, started the season on the IL with a calf injury. Has been back for a couple of weeks now. Takes a curveball down and away, 2-1. A run in on the leadoff homer by Schneemann. Ramirez is at third. Hoskins is at first, 2 down. And in the air, right center field. Long run for Lucas. He turns and it's off the top of the wall. 1 run is home, and here comes Hoskins on his way to the plate. He will score as well. on a 2-run double by Valera to make it 3-0.
It looks like Scherzer's trying to go up and in with another fastball. This ball is on the corner, but you see the target from Heineman. He wants to get that up, and a lot of times if it doesn't get all the way to the top, those left-handers can just kind of drop that barrel on the baseball, and it's unraveled really quickly here for Scherzer.
3 runs on 3 hits now here in the top of the first. And here's the center fielder, Angel Martinez. Curveball in for a strike. I beg your pardon, Angel Martinez. I'm thinking, so his dad played for the Blue Jays, and he came up as Angel and then went to his middle name Sandy. Sandy Martinez was a catcher with a great arm for the Blue Jays in the late 90s, but when Dad came up, he went by Angel.
Love that.
Maybe to make it a little, you know, just Americanize it, if you will, a little bit more. But this is his son, Angel Martinez, a good outfielder, has some speed, has some power. And now there's activity in the bullpen here in the first inning, with Scherzer already at 35 pitches. Joe Mantiply is up. A look back and the 1-2. And another ball that's drilled deep. And it is gone. Sneaking over the wall into the seats in right center. And the Guardians have put 5 on the board here in the first.
Almost a carbon copy from that swing off of Valera earlier. This is a slider, and this allows Martinez to really get the barrel to it and scoop it. Middle down is the miss. Watch how his barrel gets right underneath that ball. That allows the trajectory. What looked like a bit of a promising start for Scherzer has completely been upended by the Guardians.
Second home run of the inning for the Guardians. Schneemann to lead it off. Martinez just hitting a 2-run shot, his 4th of the season. Here's Bo Naylor, the Mississauga native, pops it up. Okamoto will go get it. And finally, the top of the first comes to a close, but it is 5-0 Cleveland. They've got an uphill climb. They are down 5-0. Lucas swinging the bat well at the top. Ernie Clement in the 2 spot again. He is swinging the bat well. As we mentioned, game number 1,000 for Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Lenyn Sosa has some good numbers on the Cleveland starter tonight. That's why he is in there. And speaking of the Cleveland starter, and I feel like I say this a lot, but boy, the Blue Jays are running into another very talented pitcher with a big arm.
Yeah, nicknamed Big Rig, the 6'6", 250-pound right-hander is off to a great start this season. 3 different types of fastballs, the 4-seam, sinker, and cutter. Does have 2 breaking balls, sweeper and curveball, but it is powerful stuff. At times it will look like he's throwing wiffle balls. Huge frame, great extension. 98, 99 with the fastball. It'll feel like 105 because of that extension. Blue Jays have got a tough one on the mound tonight.
Lucas steps in, 10 for his last 20 as he takes high, ball 1. 235 overall, looking for his first home run of the season. Ramirez even with a bag, well off the line at third. In there at the knees, 1-1. When the Blue Jays met Jose Soriano of the Angels a couple of days ago, he had the lowest opponent's batting average in the majors. Now they got some hits off him as Lucas lines one to right, and he's got another knock. This will be off the wall on a bounce. Lucas on his way to second and in there ahead of the throw. You got to start somewhere, and a leadoff double is a pretty good place to start.
Yeah, Lucas looks like he might have done something to himself while trying to get out of the box. It's a great swing on a hanging breaking ball. Watch him right out the gate. Something ain't right. I think it might be something in the lower half. He is trying to get to second base, but you got to inch. You got to inch one way or the other. Looks like they're going to have the training staff come out and take a look at him.
Oh, man, a guy who had just gotten healthy and just gotten hot. on a team that can ill afford to lose any more players. And he's going to have to come out of the game. Man, oh man.
It's a really good swing by Lucas right there. He stays right on that baseball, and just right out the gate, you could just tell something just grabbed. And a lot of times when you kind of make that move, sometimes you've got hamstrings, you've got calves that can kind of bark up a little bit.
Davis Schneider will take Lucas's place out at second. Every time they seem on the verge of getting somebody back, somebody else goes out. They have just had such a depleted roster because of all the injuries. Here's Ernie Clement. Ernie, another hot hitter, 365 over his last 12 games, 320 on the season. You always have to be ready, but if you're Davis Schneider, the last thing you're expecting one batter into the game is for DeMarlo Hale or Eric Duncan or somebody to come over to you and say, hey, you're in.
You're never ready in that situation. You can barely get the sunflower seeds out of your mouth.
Clement lifts it in the air to right. DeLauder over towards the line. Schneider is tagging. Schneider on his way to third. And in there safely.
And you know what else you're not ready for sometimes, Dan? To tag on a medium ball to the right side of the field. You can see Schneider. He's reading that the entire play. He has made the decision before DeLauder makes that catch. And you see that kind of swim move. He goes in hard, but he made that decision. He read that play. He saw where DeLauder was, and he decided, I am going. Good thing it was just stretched out enough.
So now Guerrero in career game number 1,000. Infield back. The Guardians will give up a run on a ground ball. And Guerrero does hit a ground ball out to short. So Guerrero retired, but Schneider is in, and it's 5-1. RBI number 13 on the season for Guerrero. And again, this is career game number 1,000. So you kind of take note of the numbers here and there. That is RBI number 604 for Guerrero in his career. So the Blue Jays have gotten one back. Here's Jesus Sanchez hitting in the cleanup spot again. Sanchez 268 with a couple of homers. That almost hit him in the foot. Scherzer will go back out there for the second. Fouled off 1-2. We will await word on Nathan Lucas. If we are given some information, it could come Hazel's way at some point a little bit later on in the evening. Another foul off. But I mean, you never like to see anybody get hurt, and David Popkins wants to keep all his hitters healthy, but for a guy like Lucas, again, who got off to such a slow start, then the diagnosis of vertigo and had just been so hot.
Yeah, it's never a good time to get hurt, but especially when you get off to a bit of a rough patch and you feel like your confidence is soaring and you want to produce for your manager John Schneider, and then something like that happened. It's just killer.
Rolled foul.
Especially when the Blue Jays are just desperate for those kind of hot hands to stay in the lineup. Moved up to leadoff hitter, really doing some stuff to kind of ignite the Blue Jays offense in the absence of George Springer.
Sanchez hits one high and deep to center. It is going to go. He drove it out of the longest part of the ballpark to make it 5-2.
Oh my goodness. Absolutely leaned on that breaking ball. You know, he's got the ability to really sink into the legs, and if you can catch a hanging breaking ball out in front with a little bit of angle, you can create some serious backspin, and that's exactly what Sanchez does. I'm not gonna lie, Dan, I thought it was a deep fly to left center field. That ball absolutely took off.
422 feet for his third home run of the season.
Take a look at this swing right here from Sanchez. Watch how that hanging breaking ball is right up there. Look how him sink into his back leg. That's how you get under that ball and create tons of leverage.
So when you say create backspin, how does a hitter do that?
Yeah, he's just, watch that back knee. See how that back knee sinks down? That's his ability to engage the ground and then rotate off of that back side. That creates him swinging up on the ball, which creates that type of effortless power and leverage. A lot of guys, they can't do that. That's a very natural move for him that creates a ton of power.
Ledeen Sosa, the batter, he's in there as the DH tonight and batting fifth because he's 4 for 6 with a couple of home runs off Gavin Williams. Back from his time with the White Sox. Fastball outside. 99 there from Williams, who is one of the best young starters in the game. He brings in the lowest opponent's batting average in the major leagues at 133. We mentioned it was Jose Soriano. Then the Blue Jays got 7 hits off him, knocked Soriano to third, and that elevated Williams to the top spot. But Jesus Sanchez got him. (3-2). And a swing and a miss went after a fastball away, and the inning is over. But the Blue Jays do get 2 of them back. Jesus Sanchez reliving it in the dugout right now. His third of the season has made it 5-2.
Welcome back to Rogers Center. As Dan mentioned, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. playing in his 1,000th Major League game. Still just 27 years old. Guerrero has built a resume most players spend entire careers chasing. Power and presence at the plate, Gold Glove defense, and a name that carries a ton of weight in baseball. Yet somehow it feels like he's just getting started. Among his accolades, a pair of Silver Sluggers, a Midsummer Classic Most Valuable Player honor, and that unforgettable postseason run that earned him ALCS MVP last year. John Schneider has watched Guerrero's growth since he was a teenager. He said Guerrero has always had the ability to lead, but doesn't try to be a leader. His goal is to be a great teammate. Dan, I asked Guerrero what 1,000 means to him. He said, honestly, it's just another game, but he credits being blessed and working hard at his job every single day for achieving this special night. Guys?
Hazel, thank you. And that's one thing that probably doesn't get stated enough about Guerrero is how infrequently he is out of the lineup. In the last 5 years, keep in mind 162 game season, obviously, he's played 161, 160, 156, 159, 156. This one hooked down the line but foul. As they say in the business, Caleb, he posts.
He posts, and that means he's going to show up every single day. He loves playing baseball. We've known this for years and years and years. It's just who he is. It's who Vladdy is. He wants to be in there, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to be really honest with you. There's not a ton of guys that truly want to be in there 155 plus. They like their days off. They like dodging certain types of pitchers. Not Vladdy. He wants to be in there every night.
Some defensive changes, as you may have just seen. Sanchez has moved from left to right where Lucas was. Davis Schneider came in for Lucas, so Schneider remains in the game in left. And again, if we get a report on Nathan Lucas, we will pass it along as soon as we can. 1-2 on Brian Rocchio, and a roller through the left side for a base hit. Just kind of a half-speed, 2-strike swing, and he finds a hole.
If Jimenez was playing kind of his normal position, it's probably right at him. You see the changeup grip right there. It's starting to fade down and away. Not a terrible pitch, but he's just not trying to do too much with it. Rocchio just kind of throwing his hands at it, and it finds some open area in the infield.
So a leadoff base hit, top of the order now, Daniel Schneemann, who homered to begin the ball game. Not many guys drafted where Schneemann was go on to make it to the big leagues. The first thing I thought of when I reminded myself that he was a 33rd round pick, our buddy Kevin Pillar, who may be watching tonight, 32nd round pick. There are not many guys. I mean, these rounds don't even exist anymore.
Right.
Defying the odds to get to the big leagues.
And those are the type of guys, Dan, that if you have one bad season, you're on that list, that short list of potential release candidates in spring training. You truly have to fight for your job every single year as a low draft pick.
Change up low, 3-1. Hit foul, now full on Schneemann. And Joe Mantiply, Caleb, is up again. So we'll see how John Schneider plays it. The Cleveland lineup has a ton of left-handed batters in there because Scherzer was the starter. So, you know, maybe Schneider feeling that Scherzer can only go so far and they can have some advantages here left on left. That's ball 4. So 2 on with nobody out, and it just has not been Max Scherzer's night.
Yeah, and with the Blue Jays scoring 2 runs in the bottom half, John knows. He knows there's a game at hand here, and he doesn't want this to get too far out of reach, especially considering Williams is on the mound. You feel like you've kind of got him pinned in. If you can keep that momentum on your side, you can start to really pressure Williams. If you give up 2 or 3 right here, it just starts to continue to shift that momentum.
Now the rookie Chase DeLauter, who grounded out in the first round pick of the Guardians back in 2022. Could you ever imagine if your first game in the big leagues was in a playoff game?
No, that's so unheard of, and you got to believe in the character of the player too, to be able to handle that type of pressure, to be able to handle just the stage that you're put on. No, not even close.
Fouled back, 0-2.
Dan, I made my debut in Tampa, and there was about 5,000 people there, and I was scared to death. I cannot imagine making a debut in a playoff type atmosphere because, as we know, playoff baseball, totally different.
Couple of strikes on him, 2 on, nobody out. And the pitch. And it's just inside. You could see Heineman holding it for a moment. Wonder if he thought about challenging it, but he opts not to. Now the 1-2. And fouled back by DeLauter. Couple of home runs for the Guardians in the first. Schneemann and Martinez. And Pete Walker not liking where this one has been going over the first inning plus for Scherzer. Again the 1-2. Taken low. Good look at the changeup. The 2-2 on the way. Another change. It fades outside, and now it's full. Rocchio at second, Schneemann at first, and still nobody out. The 3-2. This is hit in the air down the first baseline. Backtracking is Guerrero, and he'll make the catch in foul territory for the first out.
Really tried to go soft away, and then goes breaking ball kind of close to DeLauder right there. Is able to induce some weak contact. Now you're just trying to be efficient. Can you get a ball on the ground? Can you turn to? Can you really kind of keep it where it's at? Problem is you got Jose Ramirez up, and there's a ton of damage here, and so you got to really tread carefully because there is a base open. It's at third, but 3 is better than 0.
Curveball stays high for ball 1.
Keep away from Jose. That was kind of the saying we had when trying to get him out. The power's to the pull side, and he likes to yank, he likes to pull. Keep it away from him.
Play on at second, but no throw coming from Scherzer as Jimenez tried to sneak in behind the runner. It's early this year, but Ramirez has been a much better hitter from the right side of the plate against lefties than from this side. Last year the numbers were closer, but again stronger from the right side. But it's not like he's weak from either side.
Sure. Yeah.
No matter what the numbers say, it's early in the season. He is always dangerous. Popped way up in the air, shallow right. And Clement will give way to Sanchez, who makes the play. 2 down.
Yeah, well executed pitch from Scherzer, kind of running in up on the hands of Ramirez. That is a vulnerable place for him. If you can get it running in towards him and crowd him a little bit, you can have success. It was a slider, a little bit up, probably not where he wants it, but it ends up working out.
Well, let's see if Scherzer can get out of this after the first 2 Guardians reached base here. 2 down for Kyle Manzardo, who was retired on a fly ball to left field. 0-1. Off to a slow start. Again, a guy with power. Taps it up the third baseline. Scherzer's got it, throws, and he got him. A nice play by Scherzer coming off the mound. And Max Scherzer does indeed get out of it with a good pitch and a good defensive play. The first 2 reach, but they do not score, and it's still 5-2. The Sportsnet Plus City TV Plus bundle has all the heavy hitters with live Blue Jays and MLB games, plus hit shows from the biggest networks in TV. Bundle today at sportsnetplus.ca. A large and lively crowd. It looks packed here. This could be a sellout here tonight. A City Connect Friday. The start of a homestand after the Blue Jays were on the road for 9 games. Didn't start well, but they did get 2 back in the bottom of the first, so it's 5-2 bottom 2. And here is Dalton Varsho leading it off against Gavin Williams. Quickly an 0-2 count on the center fielder Varsho, hitting .263 with 3 homers. I think you'd call Williams the #1 on the Cleveland staff. Although this organization is as good as any at developing pitching, and they are at it again as that sails up and away. They've got a young pitcher who the Blue Jays won't see in this series, Parker Messick, a 2nd-round pick a few years ago, who has a 1.76 ERA through 5 starts and almost threw a no-hitter a couple of starts ago. A good play made by Bo Naylor coming out from behind the plate to get Varsho.
Seems like the Guardians always have those guys kind of churning in and out. Guys you've never really heard of that kind of sneak up on the scene and make a huge impact right away. And that's what their team is built around. It's good, solid starting pitching, really good, solid defense, and then very opportunistic hitting. And Williams, he's got video game type stuff and looks durable, looks the part. Could be a mainstay in Cleveland for a long time.
1 down for Kazuma Okamoto. At 207 on the year, 3 home runs. Looks at a fastball for a strike, 1-1, and you can see Williams is kind of easy 97, and we've already seen 99 tonight. This is Dylan Cease type velocity for a starting pitcher. A high drive to center. Back to the wall goes Martinez. He'll turn and watch it go. Okamoto hits it up into the WestJet flight deck, and it's 5-3.
Boy, the Blue Jays are fighting back. What a beautiful swing from Kaz. Get the ball in the air to the pull side is what the Blue Jays want from him. And sometimes when the velocity is high, instead of pulling it, you actually go to center field. I've been so impressed with his ability to hit it out to center field. Beautiful swing.
And now a ground ball will get through, and Andres Jimenez has himself a base hit.
Let's take another look at that swing from Okamoto. See the four-seamer, it's kind of middle away, and look how he gets out in front, extended. We know he likes to pull the baseball, but watch that contact point. Because it was just slightly deeper, that's what gives it direction. I guarantee you he was thinking, pull this baseball, but because of the location and because of the velocity, that's what made it go to center field. Beautiful swing.
430 feet off a 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Here's Tyler Heineman. There goes Jimenez. The hit and run is on, and Heineman's popped it up. Jimenez has to hustle back to first, and he will get there in time as Heineman is retired for out number 2. That'll get your heart rate up.
100%. His, ours, all the fans. As you can see right out the gate, there goes Jimenez, and there's no peak. That peak indicates probably hit and run. The fact that he didn't peak, he might have been straight stealing there, and that's why you peak. Even if you're straight stealing, it's good to take a look in and see where that ball is so that you can immediately shut it down versus having to shut it down towards the base.
Here's Davis Schneider. Schneider came on to pinch run for Nathan Lucas in the bottom of the first. After Lucas was forced to leave with an injury, Usat right out of the box. Lucas doubled but did not look like himself getting to second, and again we await further word. So, and I guess this goes without saying, but even if you're not in the lineup, pay attention in the hitters meeting. You never know when you might be in there.
Absolutely, you have to, and you're preparing mentally for this. You're paying attention as a big leaguer. You know what you might expect, but you honestly don't really think you're going to get in there.
2-0 on Schneider. This is the first time since August 13th of last season that Gavin Williams has allowed 2 home runs in a game, and it's only the second inning. They're trying to claw back into it. Schneider had a good swing at a fastball that got a lot of the plate, but he fouled it back.
Blue Jays are doing exactly what they need to do. Put pressure on Williams right out of the gate. If you go down 5-0 and you put up a 0 in the first, you put up a 0 in the second, he has all the momentum. And a lot of times, if you got a starter on the mound that's really doing well, if you sting him, you can take full advantage.
And another big hack. This one at a breaking ball, 2-2. He hasn't been off by much on either one of those swings.
Beautiful swing. If I'm catching right now, I'm going uh-oh, right on him. Getting off his A swing for sure.
A look at Jimenez, the runner at first. 2 down. And the 2-2 to Schneider. Swing and a miss. Got him with that breaking ball away to end the inning, but the Blue Jays get one more run back. An impressive home run by Kazuma Okamoto, 430 to straightaway center, and it's 5-3.
Welcome back to the Rogers Center, where we're throwing it all the way back for Y2K weekend, and I'm up up here at the WestJet flight deck where I was so close to catching Okamoto's home run ball in that last inning, but it looks like we just logged onto the internet for the very first time. Think flip phones, frosted tips, all of your favorite 2000s memories. Fans can try their hand at some 2000s arcade games or take advantage of some throwback photo ops all around the ballpark. They can also rock some throwback apparel. The first 15,000 fans through the gates today received this Y2K hoodie featuring Jays logos from that era. You might also see some familiar faces around the ballpark with Jays alumni from those years walking around. So whether you were burning CDs or whether you were updating your MSN status, or like me, Dan, and celebrating your first birthday, something for everyone at the Rogers Center during Y2K weekend.
You know, Anna, you were doing just great until that last line. So, Anna's a lot younger than me. You're considerably younger than me. Back at Y2K, when it was changing from 1999 to 2000, like a bunch of us were sitting around at midnight saying, is everything going to stop working?
Yeah,
the
for
computers,
sure.
the lights, like,
For
is
sure.
everything going to stop working? Or was somebody smart enough in 1972 or whatever to put that in the algorithm? I don't even think the word algorithm existed then.
Sure.
To put that in the computer program, like, we got this. Unfortunately, here we are in 2026, so I guess things are doing okay. Speaking of alumni, so Vernon Wells and Jose Cruz Jr. both here threw out ceremonial first pitches. Shannon Stewart is here as well and is going to join us here in the booth in the bottom half of the inning to reminisce a little bit about his time with the Blue Jays. A really good player. Hit 304 times, obviously could steal a base, and was a part of some pretty interesting teams in the late 90s and into the early 2000s. Never quite got over the hump, but a lot of memories, a lot of good players on those teams. The 2-2, and it's taken low. 3-2 now on Rhys Hoskins. Scherzer still looking for that first strikeout tonight, which would be career strikeout number 3,500. I'm sure, given the way the first inning went, it's not something he's thinking about or thinking about celebrating right now. Inside, ball 4, as we check in with Hazel.
Dan, just heard from a Blue Jays official who tell me Nathan Lucas was removed from tonight's game with left hamstring discomfort. You see him looking very uncomfortable out of the box there. So more tough news for the Blue Jays on the injury front. Lucas out with left hamstring discomfort. Dan.
Hazel, thank you. And no way to know or even speculate on the severity or the timeline or anything like that, so we won't do that. But it is a loss for a guy who, with that double, was 11 for his last 21, was hitting at the top of the order against righties. On the injury front, it appears George Springer is the closest, could be back in a couple of days, hopefully. He has been hitting, he has been running, although not running the bases. That ball is just foul, as called by Adrian Johnson, the third base umpire. So hopefully they'll get Springer back soon, and obviously that will be a big boost to the offense. But you hate to see another guy go down, and especially a guy who was swinging the bat as well as Nathan Lucas was. A lot of guys have been on the IL or had something going on. Man, they're keeping track. Trey Savage is here. John Schneider said they will chat with Savage tomorrow about what's next for him. Here's the 0-2 to Valera, and that's high. For Savage, it could be one more start at AAA, or it could be his next start is here for the Blue Jays. We don't know. Through 64 pitches in his last rehab start. The 1-2. And a ground ball hit sharply to second, bobbled a little bit by Clement. So he'll spin and take the shore out at first. And you can see Clement lamenting the fact that had he come up with that cleanly, maybe they've got a chance to turn 2.
Yeah, it would have been tough because that ball makes him go to his right. He would had to have spun and threw a absolute dart to Jimenez. But because it was hit so hard, you probably had a chance if you had a good exchange and a good strong throw from Jimenez. It's these little types of things that just seem to kind of mount for the Blue Jays here and there, where they used to be sure outs a year ago.
So runner at second, one out. It is 5-3. Scherzer now at 71 pitches. Joe Mantiply was up in the first. He was up again in the second, and it looks like Pete Walker's getting somebody up here in the third. Angel Martinez homered in the first. One of 2 home runs the Guardians have. And a fly ball down the right field line, hooking foul. Boy, did that have the distance, but it winds up a few feet foul.
Yeah, I was just about to say, right about now, 73 pitches in. You got a runner at second base. You're going through the lineup for the second time. Everything that is screaming at me right now about the Guardians' approach is pull, pull, pull. I'm seeing a lot of left-handers try and get the head out. I would start to try and work soft away, backdoor breaking balls, change-ups. Just try and get them to go opposite field.
0-2. Up and in, foul back.
Those are in-game adjustments. You kind of got to read the game. Every single lefty looks wound up to me, and by wound up I mean they want to pull the baseball, and you got to make that adjustment. I'm not seeing a lefty kind of sit back and try and go to the opposite field, so you got to sometimes counter what they're doing if you don't have your best stuff.
The 0-2 again. This guy's a tough out. Again, funny how his dad was a catcher and this guy's an outfielder. Got some speed, got a lot of power, as we have seen. Scherzer trying to put him away. Again, the 0-2. Got a piece of it. Even when he's making pitchers pitches, they're fouling them off.
Sure, yep, and that's just, it's finish. It's the last little bit of finish, whether it's getting it to the perfect spot or just having that little late bite. I mean, right now, I'd probably try and go up and away with a fastball just by the looks of how he was swinging it. Kind of change the eye level, change the velocity.
Tried to elevate that fastball, and again, put it up above the belt, out of the strike zone, but Martinez got to that as well. Hoskins at second, one down, and another 0-2 pitch, and another one fouled off by Martinez. There have been 7 pitches in this at bat, and every single one of them has been a foul ball.
And so what does that tell you? He's in swing mode, and a lot of times when I had hitters in swing mode, I tried to go short on the plate, see if they'll chase short. I really love a slow breaking ball short right here.
Bounced it in. Tried to get him. Looked like a slider there that he bounces in for ball one. Maybe a curve. So Heineman thinking the way you're thinking.
Repeat.
Even if you bounce it in again.
Yeah. Well, it was a ball out of the hand, a little bit too short. I'd like it kind of right in front of the plate. I still think he's in swing mode.
1-2. Inside. That was a changeup, which normally goes the other way.
Yeah, yanked it. He yanked it, and it's just these fine little margins for Max. 80 pitches through the third. You know he's taxed.
Upstairs, ball 3. So he's had to throw, got out front 0-2, but he's now had to throw 10 pitches already in this plate appearance. Mantiply is up for the 3rd inning in a row. And a high drive to right center field. It's carrying. It's gone. Angel Martinez, what an at-bat. Saw 11 pitches. It's his 2nd home run of the night, and it is 7-3.
It was only the third fastball that he'd seen throughout those 11 pitches.
And here comes John Schneider. A very tough night for Max Scherzer. 2 1/3 and 7 runs allowed. Scherzer out. Mantiply now coming in. The first and the second. Joe Mantiply enters the game here in the third.
The 8th game of the season for Mantiply. You know he's going to throw that sinker, changeup, and curve. Last time out in Los Angeles. 1 1/3, 1 hit, a walk, and 2 strikeouts. It's a funky angle. He's been tough on lefties this season. 143 from the left-handers.
Bo Naylor will be the first batter he faces. Naylor popped up his first time up. It's been a tough go at the plate for Naylor this year, as you can see, hitting just 127. Does have some power. Double-figure home run hitter each of the last couple of years, but just a 200 lifetime hitter. But he smokes this ball into center and is aboard with a 1-out single.
Manager Stephen Vogt was talking about him kind of getting underneath the baseball, getting it in the air. He talked about kind of being short and crisscross type of swing. You can see Naylor gets right behind that baseball as Scherzer's having to look on now after a rough one.
Dejected, and no doubt, second time he's had a really rough one so far this year. He's had a couple of really good ones too, but you're 41 years old. You're a surefire first ballot Hall of Famer, but as you get older, things become tougher. The stuff's just a little bit shorter, and when he's very fine with his command, he has proven he can still be really effective. But boy, tonight the Guardians hit him hard. Here's a ground ball to third, scooped up by Okamoto to Clement for 1, and on to Guerrero for 2. A double play to retire the side. It is now 7-3 Guardians. We'll visit with former Blue Jay Shannon Stewart when we come back. Y2K weekend, 50th season of the Blue Jays, with the Blue Jays bringing back some guys who are awfully good players back in those days. Vernon Wells is here, Jose Cruz Jr. is here, and Shannon Stewart is here. And look at these career ranks, even all these years later. 5th in franchise history in stolen bases, 6th in doubles, 7th in runs scored, and 8th in hits. And here he is, right here, still looking like he could bang a base hit through the left side. How are you?
I'm doing good, man.
It's
Thanks
good
for
to see
having
you.
me. I really appreciate being here. Thank you so much.
Shannon and I have something in common. Back in the 90s, we both had hair. And now, I was young Dan and he was young Shannon, and I was doing games and he was running around, stealing bases, getting hits. Caleb, you'd have hated playing. I mean, you knew he was going, and he was going.
Can't catch him.
Yeah.
Oh, the worst.
What's it like being? How often? Well, when's the last time you were here? What's it like being here?
Believe it or not, I was here for the World Series.
All right.
So I caught game 6 and 7, and unfortunately the Jays didn't pull it out. But it was a great time. It was great atmosphere, and I really enjoyed being out here.
Do you played most of your career, but not all of it in Toronto. Do you still follow the team closely?
Yeah, I follow them. I watch Minnesota, but I'm a Toronto guy, man.
I played with the Twins.
Yeah, this is my second home away from home.
As the numbers say, and as the kids say, you were a dude.
Yeah.
What pitcher did you love seeing on the mound, and what pitcher were you not so sure of on the mound?
I didn't mind Pedro Martinez.
Wow.
I've never heard anybody say that before.
I didn't mind. Actually, my first time facing him, I went 4 for 4.
Wow.
And I had some good success. But the guy I really hated was Randy Johnson, and it's weird because they say righty, lefty, you should see the ball better at the lefties, but Randy just had my number. I hate seeing him. I think I got 9 at-bats against him and 6 strikeouts, and then a couple in spring training, so I didn't like to face him at all.
Well, you had a 200-hit season, so there were more guys who didn't like you than guys you didn't like. In 4 consecutive years, hit 304, 319, 316, 303. What do you think when you watch this guy hit?
Man, this guy's tremendous, man. He can do it all. Hit for power, average. He's got good speed, too. A very exciting ball player, man. he's a generational talent, and I'm glad he's with the Blue Jays.
Have you had a chance to catch up with Vernon and Jose today?
Yes, yes. I saw Vernon in spring training, and I always see Jose here. We do the fantasy camps together, and we stay in contact throughout the year. So those guys are like brothers to me.
Those were interesting teams. I was saying to Caleb last half inning, there were a lot of good players. They were good teams, just couldn't quite get over the hump. What are your memories of that era?
Yeah, I mean, we just had the Yankees in Boston. They were just at the top of the chain there. I mean, we had a couple seasons where I thought we were going to be able to overtake them, but they were just too talented. Yeah. And that New York was just New York. Jeter, Posada, all those boys were just too tough for us.
How do you keep busy now? What's a day in the life of Shannon Stewart like now?
Shannon Stewart's been playing a lot of golf. I got the bug, man.
Yeah.
I'm coming down. I'm
right.
Low 90s, and I'll be in the 80s soon. So, catch me on the golf course. But now I work out 5 times a week, try to stay in shape. I got 3 kids.
Nice.
2 of them in college.
Nice.
I got one. My youngest one wants to go to Duke, so maybe I'll catch you at a game.
All right. Maybe you will. College basketball fan on the side, golfer on the side.
Yes, sir.
Shannon, it's great to see you, man.
Hey, thank
it's
you,
great
Dan.
to see
Thank
you.
you.
Yeah, we'll see you down in Miami or at Duke for sure.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Man.
Welcome back to the Rogers Center. We're making it a Friday with McCain. I'm here with my friend Spud, who's been busy all night running around the stadium, taking photos, handing out coupons, and meeting fans right here at the Fridays with McCain French Fry Sculpture. Fans can try new specialty loaded fries around the Rogers Center all season long, but this weekend, it's all about the Y2K vibes with the Cyber Barbecue Fry Stack. That's crispy McCain fries topped with smoked Gouda cheese and crispy onion tanglers. I think Spud approves, and so do I. Make it a Friday with McCain and try one tonight. Dan?
Anna, thank you so much. That sounds good. It is 7-3 Guardians going to the top of the 4th inning. Our thanks to Shannon Stewart. Kind of a quick half inning, but I think we get everything about Shannon was quick.
Bam, bam.
First to second to third, quick. He was a good player, man. Very, very good player. Probably not as, remembered. Like, I think young fans can tell you a little bit about George Bell or Jesse Barfield or Vernon Wells, but Shannon probably not remembered as well as he should be. He had some really good years. Daniel Schneemann leading off the 4th. Schneemann has walked, has homered and walked. Angel Martinez with 2 home runs in this game, and it is 7-3 Guardians top 4 as the Blue Jays begin a 6-game homestand. 3 with the Guardians, 3 with the Red Sox. Inside corner, 2-1. Went around, 2-2. Breaking ball winds up outside, 3-2. Mantiply getting a couple of outs in the 3rd. Nobody is up in the Blue Jay bullpen right now. You want to win the game, but you also got to start thinking about, you're going to have to use a lot of relievers here tonight. That'll help a little bit. Strike 3 call to get them.
Yeah, when you can run that sinker in on left-handed hitters and then follow it on the back end with a breaking ball that starts out of the same lane, you get that type of reaction. Good 2-strike pitch right there.
Strikeouts are brought to you by Subway. Buy 1 foot long, get 1 free with a $0 delivery fee. Offer ends April 26th. Use the code to save on this Subway digital exclusive. It was interesting hearing Shannon say the problems they had with the Yankees and Red Sox. I mean, there were some obviously great. That's right in the midst. His time in Toronto, right in the midst of the Yankees winning 4 World Series in 5 years, and the Red Sox were very good. Kind of the heyday of that rivalry, and it was. It's always tough sledding in the American League East, but those years were no exception.
Dynasties.
Yep.
Hard to compete with those.
In the air to center field off the bat of DeLauder, and Varsho is there for out number 2. So Mantiply's gotten 4 outs now, and now he'll face Jose Ramirez, who will turn around to bat from the right side. What did you try to do when you're catching and he's hitting? What was your thought process?
Yeah, it was simple. When he's right-handed, it's keep away, sinkers, changeups down. When it's left-handed, it's if you want to go up and in, you try and crowd him, and then changeups in certain counts were good to him.
Lines it sharply into center, a base hit.
But if you miss over the middle, especially middle down, that's the type of swing you get from Ramirez. He just doesn't miss pitches, and I think that's the biggest thing between superstars and normal major leaguers is look at the location. It's in the zone, it's right into his bat path, and it moves forward with tremendous exit velocity, and that is what separates the big boys from the other guys. That ball is not moving backwards. They don't miss hittable pitches.
Now Kyle Manzardo, who's 0 for 2. Chased a breaking ball off the plate, 0-1. And called a strike on the inside corner. Mantiply out in front, 0-2. Down the left field line, back out of play.
Yeah, and if you're Mantiply right now, you're just trying to be as efficient as you possibly can, knowing that Scherzer didn't go very deep. You're trying to just get outs as quickly as possible while keeping it where it is, because Blue Jays just can't afford to really try and fill 6 innings in the bullpen and feel really competitive the next day.
Good thing they had a day off yesterday, so the bullpen is fresh today, but they're going to go through a bunch of guys.
And you just hate burning it on game 1. You really hate to. It just sort of pigeonholes you in kind of what you need or want. It puts a lot of heat on the next starter.
Runner goes. And popped up left side. Okamoto into foul territory, has room, and that's out number 3. So good job by Mantiply. He's gotten 5 outs. Win amazing prizes courtesy of Rogers Beyond the Sea. The Blue Jays down 7-3 going to the bottom of the 4th. It'll be Lenyn Sosa, Dalton Varsho, and Kazuma Okamoto against Gavin Williams. Blue Jays have touched him up for a couple of homers. Jesus Sanchez and Okamoto. Sosa pops one up right side. This might be playable, and it's caught by Manzardo as he and Naylor come together. You could hear, I think, Manzardo calling him off, and he makes the play, 1 down.
Yeah, as a catcher, you're taught just go after the ball until you hear it. And a lot of times, because of the spatial awareness of the first baseman, he's got a good beat on it, but a lot of times you can't hear that as a catcher until the very last minute. You can see Naylor saying, I got it, but fortunately for the Guardians, the ball is secured.
Now Varsho 0 for 1. Takes a breaking ball at the knees. 0-1 the count. Ground ball pulled to the right side. Schneemann up with it, and quickly 2 down. That'll bring up Okamoto, and if you weren't with us in the second, it was another impressive Okamoto home run.
Yeah, fastball on the outer half from Williams, and he just back legs it, takes it deep to center field. Blue Jays really want him kind of getting that head on fastballs, get it up and elevated, and good to see him get out in front of that ball and still stay slightly underneath it. We've seen him, Dan, hit quite a few sinkers and fastballs low to the left side. And I think trying to get underneath that ball has really been a key point of emphasis for him the last couple days.
Have you felt that Okamoto deserves, whether it's 3 weeks, 4 weeks, a month, a little 6 weeks, whatever, a little bit more time to get acclimated before he is judged as to what kind of a player he is?
100%. You got to be super patient. I would say it's even 200 at bats. I know it seems aggressive, but everything has changed. The velocities, the spin especially has changed. Just getting acclimated in terms of seeing that type of repertoire each and every night.
He went around. So Williams gets him, his third strikeout of the night, and it remains 7-3 Cleveland.
Welcome back. I'm still here at the WestJet Flight Tech where all the Y2K vibes are still going strong. And look who I found. It's Retro Ace. Ace, it really does feel like we're living in the year 2002 right now, right? Absolutely. And now fans are enjoying all the throwback vibes around the entire stadium. We've got music. We've got games. It's all the early 2000s nostalgia right here at the Rogers Center. And Ace is all decked out. He's committed to the fit. Ace, that fit is so fetch. And it actually stands the test of time, even on Y2K weekend. We've even got a landline phone over here. Dan, are you still rocking with one of those at home?
that was supposed to be our secret there. Yeah. Here's Spencer Miles into the game after Joe Mantiply gets 5 outs. Miles has proven himself to be a valuable part of the bullpen, a Rule 5 pickup from the Giants organization, and one of the best things about Spencer Miles is he has shown the ability to give the Blue Jays multiple innings.
That's exactly what the Blue Jays need. You can see bottom right average versus right-handed batters. He's been really tough on them. Why? I think it's because of the late break of that slider. I love his repeatability of his windup. For a Rule 5 guy to have this type of presence and windup and success this early, very, very impressive.
Pumps in a fastball for his strike. 0-1 on Rhys Hoskins, who has walked, I should say, and scored a couple of runs. Hitting in the 5 spot for the Guardians. Signed a minor league deal in the offseason. Again, that 2-seam fastball from Miles, and again he runs it back into the zone. Tried to get a chase on the breaking ball. Good spot for it on an 0-2 pitch.
Love it. Absolutely love it. Late break. Not a lot of movement from Hoskins. You've got options here as a pitcher.
And a curveball will get him looking.
I just love the repertoire from Miles. I love the fact that he can run that backdoor sinker, throw a crisscrossing slider off of it, and then drop the big hook. And that big hook, because it has a slight bend in it, it is a knee buckler from right-handed hitters, especially when your eyes are way down and away from those previous pitches.
Now the left fielder, George Valera, had a 2-run double in the first, grounded out in the third. Popped him up. Okamoto calling for it. 2 down. And that's going to bring up the guy who has been the biggest problem for the Blue Jays tonight, center fielder Angel Martinez, who has a pair of 2-run homers. It's his first career multi-home run game in the majors. And remember, the last at bat was an 11-pitch at bat. He fouled off 7 in a row and eventually homered on the 11th pitch. He thought about challenge. See that? He thought about it, but he didn't actually tap the top of his helmet and say challenge.
It's like the move when you're going to give a guy a high five and you're trying to psych him out. Yeah, like nah.
Left me hanging.
Yeah, pull the hand behind the head. I think that's the closest one I've seen so far. It's yeah, never mind.
Boy, that 2-seamer's moving.
Oh, I loved catching those front hip 2-seamers from right-handers into lefties. If executed and it starts on the correct lane, almost get a knee buckle every time.
Curveball slipped out of his hand. to it. He bounces it in, ball 2. Late on the 4-seamer. He's got the 2-seamer and the 4-seamer, and that one is fouled down the left field line. And as Martinez talking to himself a little bit.
Yeah, that's a good 2-strike foul off spoil type of pitch. Perfectly executed by Miles.
And right back to that 2-seamer to get him. What a nice inning for Spencer Miles. 7-3 Guardians through 4.5. Time now for an update with Jamie Campbell. It is game 3 between the Oilers and the Ducks, with the series all tied up at 1. And then tomorrow at 2:30 p.m. Eastern time, it is Carolina up 3-0. The Senators trying to avoid elimination. The Stanley Cup playoffs on Sportsnet. Dan Schulman and noted beer league hockey player Caleb Joseph with you in the booth here tonight. I don't think Hazel is a beer league hockey player. I mean, you've been out on the ice, right?
I have, yeah. Against that last jersey, Smith, actually, Captain Canada.
Captain Canada, yeah. You played against him.
Play with and against him on Tuesdays, and he skates circles around me, and he wants me to show up so he can embarrass me out there, and he does.
Well, that's a cooler story than. That's a cool story. Good for you, man.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to play out there. A bunch of ex-NHL guys. It's no fun for me because I play defense the whole time, but better than sitting at home doing nothing.
And you're a Preds fan?
Oh yeah, love the Predators. Love NHL hockey. There's nothing like playoff hockey. Yes, playoff baseball, tremendous. Playoff hockey, something else too. It's just so fun and exciting, and skating. I just love skating. Not very good at it, but love doing it.
When did you start playing hockey? How old were you?
27.
Good for you. Check swing by Jimenez. It's high, a ball and 2 strikes. Jimenez with a base hit to right his first time up. That's a fair ball. Stumbling is Manzardo. Feeds it to Williams in time.
You can see Manzardo kind of getting tripped up just a little bit. Sometimes those balls can start to bounce one way or the other. A lot of times if it's kind of out and around, you'll get some weird hops. He goes towards the line as if he's going to have to continue on, but that ball hit something and kind of redirected its path more towards second base. You got to be aware, especially when a lefty gets around the ball. Sometimes it creates some weird spin, which is what we saw right there.
One down. Here's Tyler Heineman, 0 for 1. I mean, this is big league stuff that Gavin Williams has here. That is some kind of breaking ball.
Yeah, that's the sweeper. That's the kind of calling card for him. He's retired 7 in a row. He's starting to get into his groove, and not a good sign for Blue Jays.
Went right back to it, and it's 1-2.
It's just late breaking. Looks like there might be something going on with him. So he kind of backs off the mound very slowly. Either that or just kind of taking his time after the foul ball. But that sweeper, it is continuing to just bore in on left-handed hitters towards the bottom part. You can see Heineman right off the back foot, out in front, and then it always catches a catcher in an unprotected area on those type of foul balls.
And a bouncer to first, Manzardo. This one much more routine, 2 down. So Heineman 0 for 2, and back to the top of the order now. Davis Schneider in the spot that was occupied by Nathan Lucas at the beginning of the night before he was forced to leave the game with hamstring discomfort after doubling in the first. Schneider struck out in the second. Looked like he just missed the previous 2 pitches before Williams got him.
Yeah, really good hacks on some breaking balls, and get your A swing off of this guy. See if you can just run into one, try and pick a part of the plate and go after it.
Inside 2-0. He's been efficient too, just 62 pitches. And Schneider's challenging this one.
The batter challenged the pitch.
This closer look is brought to you by Specsavers, and it's high. Davis Schneider, as we all suspected back in the spring, is pretty good at this.
And he said in spring training, I really feel like I'm going to benefit from the top of the zone. For whatever reason, umpires like to call that high pitch on me, and he's been correct a number of different times on those high pitches.
Taking all the way, 3-1. A good inning for Spencer Miles, top 5. He'll come back out top 6. In there again, 3-2. Way outside, Schneider draws a walk. Now Ernie Clement, who is 0 for 2 tonight. Entered the game tied for 3rd in the majors with 32 hits on the season, and with the 2nd lowest strikeout percentage in the American League, behind only Chandler Simpson of the Rays. Not bad for a guy who was placed on waivers by Cleveland, claimed by the then Oakland Athletics. Later on released by the A's. The Blue Jays got him, and the rest is history. He has turned himself into a very good major league player. He told us before the game, while he was with the Guardians, they wanted him to be more selective and to try to hit for more power, and that's not who he is. I asked him, why are you so much better now than you were then? He said, I'm being true to myself. And the Blue Jays have let him be true to himself and have encouraged him to do what he does well. This one is down the left field line and into the corner, and Schneider's around 3rd on his way to the plate. It's another double for Ernie Clement, and it makes it a 7-4 game.
His 11th double of the season. He's just a double machine this year. And look, Ernie Clement, it might not be aesthetically pleasing, but he just gets the job done. This is a fastball running up and in on him, and it looks like a bit of a weird swing, but he gets barrel to baseball. Look how he pulls those hands in super tight, and watch this ball skirt right inside the line. He's just got a knack for finding the barrel, and when you have that type of ability, you don't coach it out of him. You give him his number in the lineup and you say, go do it, big fella, go get it done.
Now Guerrero lines a ball to center field, but it is carrying out to Martinez for the 3rd out of the inning. Clement drives in 1 and makes it a 3-run game.
described it to me with higher volume and higher intensity than when he did it in Anaheim. And he danced a little bit too. With striders, which are short, controlled, fast-paced running, he was asked to control the intensity, and he told me, I was probably faster than I was supposed to go, he said with a smile. Now, tomorrow, he's going to do much the same, maybe run even faster, and if all goes well, he said, look, we'll see what happens. But today, Dan, he said, it was a good day. So more encouraging news on Springer, who is just chomping at the bit to return. Guys?
No doubt about that, Hazel. Thank you. So could it be maybe Sunday? Don't know. Again, the work will continue tomorrow. Boy, the Blue Jay training staff, they have been busy this year with all the injuries. Springer appears to be the injured player who is the closest to returning, as Bo Naylor will lead off the 6th against Spencer Miles. And boy, would they love to get that back into the lineup. It's almost a blessing. It is a blessing, I guess, Caleb, that he's a DH, because he's not going to be running around as much as if he were a regular outfielder.
Yeah, no question. Even just watching him sprint in that clip right there, very good strides. He looks strong. Doesn't sound like he's going to need a rehab stint either.
Right.
Sounds like he can maybe get some at-bats off of trajectory, and he isn't too far removed from that timing.
Now, he hasn't run the bases yet. Is that an important hurdle to clear?
I don't think so. To be perfectly honest with you, I really don't. I think if you can run and not have pain, you're going to be all right.
Heineman's got room right up against the screen to make the catch, and Bo Naylor is retired. So I don't want to put words in your mouth, but if tomorrow goes great, you think maybe there's a chance he's back on Sunday?
Especially considering Lucas just came out of the game. I think the Blue Jays, I think they want to take precautions, but these things change daily, and they need some bats. They need some infusion of veteran players to come back and really contribute. If he can run like that, I firmly believe he could probably push off the base as well.
There's Brian Rocchio. So let's run through the other bits of information John Schneider gave us before the game. Addison Barger, sprained ankle on the IL, is in Florida. Hit off the trajectory machine today. Will face live pitching next at some point over the next couple of days. He has been running the last several days, but he has not run the bases yet. He appears to be a little bit further away than George Springer is, but obviously another bat you would dearly love to get back in the lineup. They need some power, and Springer and Barger both have that. Jose Barrios is going to make his next rehab start with Buffalo on Tuesday, and he was at, I believe, 55 pitches in his last one. So maybe he's up around 70 in this one Tuesday. Do they give him one more after that? So is he maybe 2 starts, couple of weeks away from coming back? And then Trey Savage is here. We saw him in the dugout earlier tonight, and the Blue Jays are obviously in conversation with him about what is next. There's a ground ball up the middle, a base hit for Rocchio, his second hit of the game. And will Savage's next outing be another one with the Bisons, or will it be with the Blue Jays? At some point over the next day or two, we'll find that out. But the last one didn't go exactly as he would have liked. His command wasn't great. He walked 4, and because he threw so many pitches in the 3rd inning, they took him out of the game. You don't want him throwing like 40 pitches in an inning. I think he got up to 34 pitches in the 3rd inning alone, 64 overall. So he wasn't able to get the pitch count quite up where they wanted it. They wanted it closer to about 75. Here's a liner into left center. Daniel Schneeman's got a base hit. Varsho's got it shy of the track, but it's going to be a double for Schneeman that brings Rocchio around to 3rd.
Nice piece of hitting by Schneeman. We talked about the lefties for the Guardians being really wound up. Check out Heineman's target, trying to go away with the fastball. It's more middle, but he doesn't try and do too much with it. Splits the gap. Good break by Varsho right here as he's going to cut this off. If you don't take a good break, that ball could very easily get by you, in which Rocchio would have scored. Good baseball play all around. Now you got to bear down, though. The game's within reach. If it gets to 8-4, 9-4, Blue Jays going to bring the infield in because that run is so desperate right now.
2nd and 3rd one out. Chase DeLauder, the rookie outfielder, is 0 for 3. Ground ball to first. Runner coming home. Guerrero to the plate. Not in time. And Rocchio slides in safely to make it 8-4.
Guardians obviously playing contact. As soon as that ball is, I have an announcement here. Nope, never mind. Sorry. As soon as that ball is hit, he's coming in. Check out Heineman's stance there. Watch as this ball is put into play. Watch Heineman get out in front of the base. And as that, it's like the throw takes him up the line a bit. I'd love to see Heineman kind of go with that and kind of move his body, contort his body to get down and try and tag Rocchio on the backside.
So a fielder's choice and an RBI on the play to make it 8-4. Now here's Jose Ramirez, who pulls it foul down the line. It's really a bang-bang decision for Guerrero at first, too. And we usually see Guerrero opt to make the more aggressive play, right?
Sure.
To try to get the runner. And given that you're down by 3, you can understand.
Yeah, that's the game. The game's on the line right there. That's a huge run at this point in the game, and you got to go for it. Even with Ramirez on deck, you're trying to cut it down. You're trying to stay within a couple runs, and you can see Vladdy, he was going home all the way. Now watch Heineman right here. It's almost like his body's going backwards. I'd love to see him go into that throw versus moving the opposite way. Get down and dirty and lean on him. You can secure that baseball and then bury him. Now with Rocchio sliding head first, you're probably going to try and get him on the backside. Even if he does make that move, I'm not 100% sure that he's safe just because of the speed of the ball, because it was such a high chopper. Vladdy's only chance was probably to barehand that ball and then get a perfect throw in the tagging zone, but I'd still love to see him kind of move in that way towards the baseball when it's thrown to him.
In the air, shallow right field. Sanchez coming in, makes the catch. And a few hard steps down the line by Schneemann, but he retreats as the throw is on line from Sanchez, 2 down.
And you make a great point, Dan. The throw was on line as the third base runner right there. You're running with your head kind of contorted towards that right field side of the field, and you can tell if it's offline or online. Good strong throw by Sanchez to hold it right there. Big play.
And a big second out. Now Miles to face Kyle Manzardo. The cleanup hitter for the Guardians. He is 0 for 3 tonight. Ground ball to second. Up with it, Clement. And the side is retired. The Guardians do get 1 and will take an 8-4 lead to the bottom of the 6th.
Celebrate the art of pitching with your very own Dylan Cease bobblehead. One of the newest pitchers on the team, Cease has shown us so far that he really knows how to paint the corners. On Wednesday, June 10th, the first 15,000 fans at Rogers Center will receive a Dylan Cease bobblehead. Get your tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. Dan?
Anna, thank you very much. I don't know about you, Caleb, and I thought this would be the case going into the year. I really enjoy Dylan Cease starts. I mean, they are just mesmerizing sometimes. With that power arm, he has struck out a dozen this year twice. He's the only pitcher in the majors to even do it once. And Dylan Cease at the moment is the major league strikeout leader. But if Gavin Williams gets 1 more tonight, he's going to move into a tie with Cease for the major league lead.
Strikeout machine, just fun watching the different shapes, and it's just power, power, power. And Ross Atkins talked about him a little bit today. Obviously wanting to see him get a little bit deeper, but loving the fact that he's able to receive all those punch outs. That's kind of what this rotation kind of needed, was a little bit more swing and miss, and Cease has certainly brought that.
Tommy Nance now up in the bullpen. Miles has gone 2 innings. Strike 3 called, and a challenge from Jesus Sanchez.
Batters challenge the pitch.
It's another one of those front hip
Call is confirmed.
sinkers that just gets the top of the zone. And that's the pitch, Dan, that has really impressed me from watching some video on Williams, was just his ability to kind of run that sinker up and hit the top part of the zone, front hip it. Really easy to kind of check down on that pitch and watch it clip the top of the zone.
So that'll tie him with Dylan Cease for the major league lead in strikeouts with 44. Cease, by the way, will start Sunday in the final game of this series. Kevin Gausman is going to start tomorrow. So on a night where a lot of the relievers are going to end up pitching in this game, if you're John Schneider, at least you can say you got Gausman and Cease the next 2 days.
Yeah, and Kevin's done it. He's done it throughout his career. He's done it throughout his tenure as a Blue Jay. He's the #1 guy to go out there and really eat innings. He knows what he has to do night in, night out. When the starter has a bit of a short start, he knows, he changes his repertoire. He'll go for early contact against certain types of hitters. He'll maneuver, he'll chase that punchy when he needs it. He knows what it takes to get deep into games.
Is that something, you know, given the situation that's discussed in a pregame meeting about changing your game plan to try to get quicker outs?
Yeah, you're always targeting those guys that you know might release early on a first pitch breaking ball or a backdoor split.
Grounded up the middle, a base hit for Lenyn Sosa.
And then you know the guys that you want to kind of stay away from and be really careful with. And so you're always trying to target early count, weak contact if you're trying to go deep into games. Now, if you're Dylan Cease, it's kind of throw it in the zone because you get so much swing and miss, which I think is what the Blue Jays kind of want eventually from him. But it's all about getting early count, weak contact. Let your defense work so you don't rise up in that pitch count department.
Dalton Varsho 0 for 2 on a couple of ground outs. Hits the ball to right field, but it's caught on the track by DeLauder for the second out.
Yeah, it's 105 off the bat of Varsho. DeLauder is almost on the track at his starting position. Look where he's at. He's like 3 feet from the track. Any other right fielder playing normal depth, I can almost guarantee that would have burnt him, but he was playing super deep versus Varsho.
Now Okamoto, who homered in the second and struck out in the fourth. The home run is 4th on the season. Gives him the club lead in home runs now with 4. Andres Jimenez, Jesus Sanchez, who is homer tonight, Dalton Varsho all have 3. Blue Jays as a team, and you can understand why, in part due to guys like Springer, Barger, Kirk, even to a certain extent being out. The Blue Jays have 21 home runs on the year. That is 24th in the majors. Reaches for it and stays alive.
Yeah, you need a little more sock, and they're doing a good job creating some traffic, but you need some of those devastating 2-3 run homers to really put pitchers behind the 8 ball and kind of create a lot more stress out there.
Up and away, 2-2.
It doesn't mean you have to live and die by it, but you got to get those big hits, and especially with runners on base, the extra base hit, it just sends a jolt of energy through your dugout, through that lineup, starts to create a lot of momentum.
A full count now on Okamoto, so that means that Sosa will get a head start at first. Jimenez if the inning continues. There goes the runner. And it is low, but now Bo Naylor wants to challenge.
Challenge the pitch.
And it remains low.
Confirmed. Cleveland has 1 remaining.
So the Guardians are down to 1, and it's ball 4, and the inning continues. You like the ABS system?
I love it. I think it's perfect. I think 2 or 3 challenges is really good, as pitching coach Carl Wilson is going to come out and have a chat with Williams. I think it's done really well. I think it creates a ton of excitement for the fans. I love it. I love waiting to see if it's a ball or strike, because my eye test, I thought that was a strike. I really did. And Okamoto lays off of it. And, you know, this is the part of the game where if you're going to win this game, you got to score right here, in my opinion. Considering the Guardians back into the bullpen, you got to do something here to really continue to pressure. And they've got him on the ropes, and they've already scored 4. They've done a really nice job, but this is the exact time when you need that thump. You need maybe a catch it out front type of swing from Jimenez like you had in Milwaukee. Catch a heater out front, run into one, something right now to kind of change the course and continue to build and mount pressure on the Guardians.
You know, considering how good of a pitcher Williams is, 4 runs on 6 hits. He had that little run in the 3rd and 4th, back-to-back 3-up, 3-down innings, but in every other inning, they have had multiple men on base against him. Trying to cash in here with 2 outs. Jimenez is 1 for 2. Got a fastball that he fouled back, 0-1. Velocity's come down a little bit here for Williams. That was 94.4. We saw 97s up to 99 earlier in the game. About to throw his 90th pitch. The bullpen is busy for the Guardians. In the air down the left field line. Racing over Valera, and it drops in fair. And this is going to be a 2-run double to make it 8-6.
Well, it's the opposite of the catch it out front and blast one to right field. Not sure where Valera was throughout that play. Had hang time all throughout the play. It's a sweeper that kind of nestles middle down. Jimenez stays inside of it, and watch where Valera is. It's almost like he gave up on this ball a long time ago. Blue Jays obviously with 2 outs are running, but maybe that's the big type of play Blue Jays need. They're right back in this game.
They sure are. They were down 5-0. 1.5 inning in, it's now 8-6. The batter, Tyler Heineman, 0 for 2. And this is a well-hit ball to the right field corner, but foul. Hard hit ball down the line, but just hooked foul.
Oh, about a millimeter or 2 just out in front. If you're able to get behind this ball just a little bit more, it's not going to have that type of hook. The reason that ball hooks is because you're out in front with too much angle, but man, Heineman put a charge into it. The crowd was ready to erupt.
Gavin Williams had allowed only 7 earned runs in 5 starts. Coming in, he's given up 6 earned runs tonight. Outside, 2 balls and a strike. Connor Brogdon ready if called upon in the Guardians' pen. Jimenez out at second. And now 3-1 on Heineman.
Lots of breaking balls late in the outing for Williams, and that's pretty traditional. When you got a pitcher that's starting to lose some velocity and you do have a good secondary option, typically they start to lean on it. See if Heineman picks up on it and leans on this one.
Swings over the top of that breaking ball, 3-2. He has not thrown a fastball in this at bat. Fly ball to center field. In comes Martinez, and that will end the inning. But Andres Jimenez with a 2-out, 2-run double down the left field line. And the Blue Jays keep chipping away. It is 8-6 at the end of 6.
Celebrated Blue Jays legend with the Roy Halladay replica retro jersey giveaway. On Monday, June 8th, the first 15,000 fans will receive a retro Halladay jersey honoring one of the greatest pitchers in franchise history. Buy your tickets now at bluejays.com/promotions. Dan?
And a thank you, the Hall of Famer, the late Roy Halladay. Here it's 8-6 Guardians. Got out to an early 5-0 lead, but as we mentioned, the Blue Jays keep chipping away. It is 8-6 going top 7, and here's Tommy Nance.
Yep, 11th game this season for Nance. Last time out versus the Angels, 1 1/3, 2 earned runs, a walk and 2 strikeouts. It's a backwards approach, lots of breaking balls early, and a sneak attack with the fastball late.
A little sneak attack on the first pitch.
Love it.
0-1.
That's typically a good pitch to Hoskins. He does have quite a bit of tilt in that swing, more of an uppercut, more of kind of a natural left-handed type swing. And so if you can go backdoor with a sinker, you can typically get a smother to the left side of the infield.
In there again with a sinker, 0-2.
And then once you dominate that lower outer part of the plate, he will chase with breaking balls off. But you got to get him in swing mode, especially with the sinker, to create some chase. Otherwise, he sits out there soft.
And a curveball freezes him, 1 down.
Catch every pitch with Canada's most reliable 5G Plus network and best 5G Plus network. Rogers, we got you.
Top 7 opening game of the series between the Guardians and Blue Jays, who split 6 games a season ago. Here's George Valera, who had a 2-run double in the first. 1 for 3 overall. One and one as he swings over the top of the slider. Hunter Gaddis is up in the Guardians pen. It's getting late, getting into leverage time, and this is one of their guys for Stephen Vogt. Of course, another one of their guys, Cade Smith. Down at the end of the pen, Abbotsford, BC native. On the Blue Jays side, Mason Fluharty is up. A lot of lefties in this Cleveland lineup tonight. He's got that 2-seamer working.
I love that pitch for him, especially left on left. Sorry, right on left. You're going to typically see a lot of left-handers trying to sit soft, and if you can get that sinker close to them, it's a sneak attack type of pitch.
Tried to put him away with a curve, left it up a bit, and it's fouled off.
And Dan, why that's so important is because to hit that front hip sinker, you've got to move that contact point well out in front of the right leg of a left-handed hitter. And what that does, that gives you room for error with the breaking balls. You don't have to throw the perfect breaking ball. If you can get that contact moved out in front, you can get some chase underneath. Big rig.
Got him. Back-to-back strikeouts for Nance.
And that's a straight downer, meaning moving straight from 12 to 6. That's the breaking ball. Watch that thing move straight down. Heineman with the really soft hands. A little bit of a foul tip there from Valera. And I do believe, Dan, that's an art. I believe catching foul tips is an art.
Really?
I do.
Like a skill?
I do. I think it is.
Must be a great feeling as Angel Martinez fouls it off his right foot or leg and is in considerable pain. And here comes Stephen Vogt and a member of the training staff right off the inside of the right shin.
It's a lot of bone exposed right there. Remember fouling one off that shin part many years ago, and it stings. It will send tears through your eyes when it hits that part of your leg.
And what percent of the pain, this is a silly question, but what percent of the pain will that guard prevent?
Well, if it actually hits that Evo shield, it's a lot. Those are very durable, very hard, molded to every player's leg. That's good.
It's a hard plastic.
Oh,
right?
yes, very hard.
Down and in. Like, could it cut the pain in half? Or,
You barely feel it.
Really?
You really, I mean, you might not even feel it at all. I mean, those Evo shields, they're tremendous products, and they come very, very soft, and it molds. You have to wrap it around with kind of gauze, and you form it, they crack it. Think of an ice pack. When an ice pack kind of starts, you crack it, it kind of sends the materials into a freezing type of sensation or motion, and when it molds right to your leg, and if it hit on that pad, you don't feel it at all. Problem is, it hits above it, it hits below it, it hits in between it, and then you're feeling straight bone to baseball, or baseball to bone.
1 ball, 2 strikes the count. And Tommy Nance just struck out the side. A great job by Nance. 7th inning stretch. The Blue Jays coming up down by 2.
If you're in Alberta, New Brunswick, Nova Scotia, or Ontario, this could be your chance to become a multi-millionaire. Jays Care 50-50 jackpot is over $600,000 and expected to surpass $2 million by May 13th. Don't miss your chance to be the next life-changing winner. Head to bluejays.com/5050 to get your tickets right now. Dan?
Anna, thank you. It is climbing and climbing quickly. Over $600,000 right now. To the bottom of the 7th, it's the Guardians 8 and the Blue Jays 6. Blue Jays scoring in each of the last 2 innings to creep closer. And now Stephen Devote has gone to his bullpen for one of his guys. Got a bit of a late start this year. Was on the IL with a forearm strain for a couple of weeks to begin the season. Hunter Gaddis, who has been a key part in their bullpen over the last couple of years. Davis Schneider to lead it off. And lots of sliders.
Close to 70% sliders. Does have that 4-seam and the split, but it's a hard down late breaking slider.
Left that one in the zone. 1-1. He had a 3.11 ERA in 73 appearances a year ago. He had a 1.57 ERA in 78 appearances 2 years ago. One and 2. After Schneider, it'll be Clement and then Guerrero. In on his hands just a bit, and it's a high fly ball to center field for out number 1. So Schneider now 0 for 2 with a walk tonight. And that'll bring up his good buddy Ernie Clement. 1 for 3, hit an RBI double his last time up. That double his 11th on the season. He is tied for 2nd in the major leagues in doubles, with Matt Olson behind only Taylor Ward. Left-hander Eric Sabrowski is up. Another Canadian from Edmonton. They got 3 Canadians: Sabrowski, Cade Smith, Bo Naylor. Line to third, and Ramirez did not have to move his feet at all to make the catch. Right at him, 2 down.
Yeah, Ernie makes the adjustment out in front on the first one, but right off the end of the bat, look at Ramirez right at the right ear. See that pre-pitch movement, that little hop right there, that's a pre-pitch movement. Didn't need it on that one.
2 down. Here's Guerrero. 0 for 3, drove in a run on a ground ball back in the first. Grounds it to Ramirez, who will throw him out. So Hunter Gaddis works a 3-up, 3-down, bottom of the 7th. It is still 8-6 Guardians, and time now for a Blue Jays Central update with Jamie Campbell and Kevin Barker.
From his first swings as a kid to the brightest stage in baseball, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. was born ready. On May 25th, the first 15,000 fans will receive the Born Ready Vladdy bobblehead, easily the most adorable giveaway of the season. Learn more at bluejays.com/promotions. And now he's at career MLB game number 1,000, Dan. I feel like it was just yesterday when he made his debut.
He's got a chance to obliterate the Blue Jay record book.
Yep.
Just to wind up way out in front in every category, or so many categories. He becomes the 12th Blue Jay to ever play in 1,000 games for the franchise. 8-6 Guardians, top 8. And here's Mason Fluharty dropping a sweeper in for a strike on Bo Naylor. 13th appearance of the season for the lefty. 8-9-1 in the Guardians lineup coming up here, top 8. The Blue Jays were down 5-0, 7-3, have crept back into it and have made a game of it here late. Outside, ball 2. Naylor 1 for 3, had a base hit to center in the 3rd. Played for Canada again in the WBC this spring. Challenge for Tyler Heineman.
Toronto is challenging the ball call.
Got him.
Call's overturned. Toronto has 2 left, or 1 left.
Another successful challenge by Heineman. Naylor strikes out, and the Blue Jays still have 1 remaining.
Love that. Love it when you kind of back something hard, especially on the same lane as something soft moving away. You can get a lot of strike 3 called pitches if you double up and keep it in that same lane. Good pitch call right there by Heineman.
Number 9 hitter Brian Rocchio.
And I love this changeup that Fluharty has kind of introduced. It's a harder pitch, 88 miles per hour. To me, it acts like a 2-seam, and I don't care what he calls it. As long as it has that kind of arm side run on it, it can really open up a lot of areas to protect those breaking balls for him.
In on the hands of Rocchio, and a lazy pop-up for Clement, 2 down.
Make it up Friday with McCain, official French fry of the Toronto Blue Jays.
Sellout crowd here tonight. I'm sure a lot of McCain fries have been consumed here at the ballpark. 41,671. Seeing a competitive game here late. The Blue Jays are only down by 2 now after trailing 5-0 early. Here's Daniel Schneemann, who's had a good night. 2 for 3, a home run and a double. 1-1 the count. Jose Ramirez and the Guardians, couple of games above 500, entering play tonight, tied for their division lead with the Tigers. Stephen Vogt, the American League Manager of the Year each of the last 2 seasons. In each of those years, the Guardians have won their division. Heineman thought about challenging that one. And this time he will.
Catcher challenge the pitch.
Got another one.
Ball's overturned. Toronto has 1 left.
Nice. I don't know if you could read lips there, but I thought that was one for sure. He was telling Schneemann, oh, Heineman, he's chatterbox back there. He likes to chat. He likes to talk.
Yep. So it's 3-2. Got him. Mason Fluharty with a very nice inning with an assist to his catcher as well. Receiving and challenging very well tonight, and the Blue Jays coming up down 2. Looking at Miles Straw there, he is going to pinch hit for Jesus Sanchez because a lefty is on the mound. The Edmonton native Eric Sabrowski, key setup man in this Cleveland pen.
Former 14th round pick of the Padres is having a really good season. 4-seamer, curveball, and slider. Just over 14.5 strikeouts per 9. He racks them up. 19 punches in 11 2/3 innings. But let's see if Miles Straw can do something like he did in Arizona, come right off the bench and make an impact. John Schneider loves kind of leading him off at the beginning of innings. He's kind of like a spark plug, acts kind of like a leadoff hitter. See if he can spark it up.
Hitting for Jesus Sanchez. Up and away, ball 1 from Sabrowski. It'll be Straw, Lenine Sosa, and Dalton Varsho here, bottom of the 8th. And it's 2-0. And do you shrink your strike zone right now, even at 2-0 if you're Straw?
No, I think you let it fly. I just, the way he's been swinging the bat, you let him loose, get on base anyway.
In there, 2-1. The mask of Naylor, and Paul Clemens, the umpire, checking on him. Naylor appears to be all right. The Blue Jays have Braden Fisher and Louis Varland up.
Relievers have done a great job kind of getting it to this spot, keeping it where it's at to give the Blue Jays a chance.
Yep.
You know, if each of those relievers kind of gives up 1 or 2, that puts this game really out of reach.
Up and away, 3-2. Sabrowski, a guy who has undergone Tommy John surgery not once but twice in his career. Straw fights it off out of play.
Well, I'm sure, Dan, you remember when kind of going under the knife for that Tommy John surgery. It was scary. It was a scary thing, but they've just made so many advancements in that. It seems like guys just come back, really don't miss a beat most of the time. You do have your odd cases here and there where guys don't come back, but it seems like they've really shored that up.
Straw with a good swing sends it to deep right center, but it's playable for Martinez, and out number 1. So with 1 down, here comes Lenine Sosa. 1 for 3, singled and scored his last time up. Fluharty and Heineman talking about the top half of the inning. Just low, 2 balls and a strike. Dylan Cease will start Sunday. Trey Savage will wait and see. Does he get 1 more with Buffalo, or is he on the verge of coming back? What a story he was at the end of last season. Swing and a miss. Sosa strikes out, 2 down.
Yeah, it looked like he was right on it. Loved the takes that Sosa had throughout that entire bat. Took a really good rip right before this pitch, but this is a slider. Talk about back foot sliders. Lefties love going down and in like that, especially with that type of horizontal movement and velocity. They can create a lot of whiff there.
Now Varsho. And this is in the air, left center field, and caught by Valera for the 3rd out. Through 8 here at Rogers Center, still 8-6 Guardians. Game 2 of this series comes your way tomorrow afternoon. Blue Jays Central at 2:30 Eastern. First pitch at 3:07. Kevin Gausman will be on the mound for the Blue Jays tomorrow. Left-hander Joey Cantillo, who's got a 3.20 ERA, will be the starter for the Guardians. It is on to the 9th here tonight. Still 8-6 Guardians. And the 6th pitcher of the night for the Blue Jays is right-hander Braden Fisher.
Yeah, they're using quite a few guys in the Toronto Blue Jays bullpen tonight. 13th game of the season for Fisher. He's been stingy with the free passes. Only 3 walks on the season and 13 innings pitched. As Straw goes out to the outfield. Fisher's been good. Quietly stepped right in last season and just has continued to evolve as a major league pitcher. Been a real steady presence for manager John Schneider down there in the bullpen.
Facing 2-3-4 in the Guardians lineup, beginning with outfielder Chase DeLauder, who's 0 for 4. That means Jose Ramirez is on deck, and then Kyle Manzardo. In there, 2-1. Cade Smith is up in the bullpen and getting ready for the bottom of the 9th. Heineman will not challenge this one. It's 3-1. Foul ball, 3-2.
Just the way that DeLauder is moving in that box. If Fisher can get any sort of breaking ball towards the outer half, I'm not sure he's going to have a chance. He is bailing towards the pull side pretty heavy.
Takes the breaking ball low, and that's a leadoff walk.
Just said he was stingy with walks.
They call that the announcer jinx right there.
Sorry, Fisher.
Welcome to the club.
My bad. Now just get a 2-ball or forget about the whole thing. Except that guy's up.
Yeah, tough out here. Ramirez 1 for 3 with a walk tonight. Little high, and again you could see Heineman kind of a little tilt to the head, but he does not challenge. He's been successful challenging tonight, and the Blue Jays still have 1 remaining. That's a strike, and it's 1-1.
I think those would be the hardest ones, Dan, as a catcher, to know which to challenge. The higher breaking balls, the higher 12-6, not so much like the backup sliders, but the breaking balls that kind of are higher, and you're not sure exactly where it's crossing. Fastballs, you've got an idea. You just kind of know. You got a good sense of where it is. But like the breaking balls that have that tremendous north-south movement like Fisher has, is it clipping the zone? Is it, you know, the measurements are in certain spots.
Good pitch in on his hands, and a fly ball to shallow right center. It'll be Straw. And to your point, it's not the front of the plate, it's not the back of the plate. Picture a pane of glass right in the exact middle between the front and back of the plate, where the square part becomes a triangular part, if that's if I'm saying that right. But So and that makes a big difference on a breaking ball, right? Front, middle, or back.
Especially the front. When they were measuring it in the front earlier, it was very tricky.
Kyle Manzardo. Heineman is 2 for 2 challenging tonight, incidentally. I guess it's a rectangle where the rectangular part meets the triangular part.
That sounds like geometry, and I wasn't good at that.
No.
I was no good at that.
I love math, but not geometry. There weren't enough numbers. There it is.
Love that.
Where the rectangular part meets the triangular part.
Yes.
In the middle.
Right there.
Popped up shallow center. In is Varsho for the second out. For the Blue Jays in the bottom of the ninth, Kazuma Okamoto, Andres Jimenez, Tyler Heineman, 7, 8, 9, the scheduled hitters. On the bench, Brandon Valenzuela and Eloy Jimenez. The batter for the Guardians, Rhys Hoskins. And he'll pop one up. This is going to be Andres Jimenez to make the catch. What a job by the bullpen. They have done everything they can do. Can the offense get at least 2 in the bottom of the ninth? You're watching Rogers Friday Night Blue Jays Baseball, presented by McCain. And it's come down to this. The bottom of the ninth here at Rogers Center. The Guardians 8 and the Blue Jays 6. And the third of 3 Canadians on the Guardians roster to enter the game tonight. Abbotsford BC native Cade Smith, who has been absolutely outstanding out of the Guardians pen the last couple of years.
6'5", 230-pound, 26-year-old, features 4-seam split and sweeper. Great extension. And it's not like 99, 100. It's really averaging around 96.5, 97, but it's heavy. And what I mean by that is it comes on you, and it feels like it's taking the sting out of the bat as Angel Martinez moves over to left field, and Stephen Kwan comes off the bench for Stephen Vogt to play center field. But they got a tough cookie in Smith,
who has been a little bit more hittable so far this year than he's been the last couple of years. Kazuma Okamoto will lead it off. A solo homer, a strikeout, and a walk. And a close miss there. It is 1-1 on Okamoto. Taken outside, ball 2. One base runner brings the tying run to the plate. Swings through a fastball, 2-2. Eloy Jimenez, bat in hand. Will he be called upon to hit for Heineman this inning? Popped up, heading back to the seats and out of play. Takes the high fastball, 3-2.
That's a good take right there. Very easy pitch to release on, especially when you've seen a couple breaking balls on the outer half. Really good take.
And then he hits it hard to deep left field, off the wall. A big turn and then heading back to first. And a wise decision there. You cannot afford to lose him on the bases. That ball was hit so hard, it'll be about as long as a Rogers Center single as you'll ever see.
Yeah, I love this swing from Okamoto. Little deep play right there by Martinez, and he's going to come up firing. And watch Okamoto out the box. He thinks it might be gone. He's looking at it, but now he's going to turn the jets on and look at him. He reads it, he's running, and he stops when he sees it on line.
Andres Jimenez, line drive, base hit. Okamoto up to second, and the first two have reached. And John Schneider is bringing Eloy Jimenez to the plate to pinch hit for Tyler Heineman.
It'll bring out Carl Willis, pitching coach for the Guardians, out to have a chat with Smith. But I love what the Jays have done right out the gate, trying to mount some pressure onto Smith.
We don't know if they're going to win this game, but you've got to give the bullpen and the offense a tremendous amount of credit for how they have continued to play throughout this game.
6 2/3, 1-run ball out of the bullpen. Let me tell you, this game could have been over. They could have packed it in, down 7-3 from the top of the third. They could easily packed it in and say, not our day, we'll get them tomorrow. The offense has continued to churn and build momentum, continue to never give up. And this is a good sign. These are the types of games that if you can somehow find a way to push these 2 runs across and win this game, they can send a jolt through your clubhouse, because it's so energizing to see everyone coming together and pulling their own weight.
First and second, nobody out. Jimenez pinch hitting for Heineman. High, ball 1. Fastball fouled off. It's a ball and a strike. A look back at Okamoto. And the 1-1 chopped to third, to second, 1 to first, in time to turn the double play.
We say it quite often, the #1 rally killer in a big inning is the double play. This ball kind of gets in on the hands of Jimenez. He's got to try and suck him in, hits the top of the baseball. And when you're bailing like that, a lot of times you don't get out of the box as well as you would like to. Guardians able to roll the twin bill.
So just like that, the Blue Jays are now down to their final out. Davis Schneider, the batter, representing the tying run. 0 for 2 with a walk. And he'll challenge. He's already 1 for 1 tonight. And it's high.
Over current has 2-1 left.
You're not saving him now. You're using him now.
No, and that's huge. 0-1 to 1-0 is a big count leverage flip.
No doubt about it. Strike there. 1-1. Ooh, a splitter from Smith, and it's 1-2.
Devastating movement from the split finger from Smith. Look at that rotation, barely rotating like a really hard knuckleball.
He saw that splitter again, and he got on top of it, but he pulled it foul. 3 pitches: fastball, splitter, slider. Rally caps all around the ballpark. The 1-2 again. Popped up, shallow right center field, and caught by the second baseman Schneemann, and the Guardians will hang on to win it. The Blue Jays made a game of it, including here in the bottom of the 9th, but they come up just short as Cleveland takes the opener 8-6.
Yeah, Max Scherzer only goes 2 1/3, 7 runs, 7 earned runs. and they just could not come back from that hole early on in the game. You loved how the bullpen was able to perform. You love how the offense was able to keep going. And maybe a game like this gives you a little bit of confidence going into the next two games where you have two of your top dogs going. But getting down so early, right out the gate, it really put them behind the 8 ball. They weren't able to do it.
The Blue Jays fall to 10-15 on the season. As Kayla mentioned, two of the top dogs, Gosman tomorrow, Cease on Sunday. We'll have it for you. But right now it's time for Sportsnet Central, presented by KFC. Here are Ken and Faisal.